Friends, I am Vijay Singh, and I bring to you the third episode of our rich repository highlighting rural mathematical riddles. At the outset, I would like to acknowledge Ranjana Pathak and Akshat Mishra. India has a vast tradition, a vast, vibrant oral tradition, I would say, of fairy tales, songs for every occasion, ballads, sagas, stories of animals and demons, and of course, a large number of riddles. A small subset of these are mathematical riddles. And this is a map of medieval India. You can see on the north, where east over here, Kusumpura, which is modern day Patna. The great Indian mathematician Aryabhat lived here and worked here 1500 years ago. And most of the mathematical riddles are from the northern part of this region, from the Bhojpur region. But to just give you an idea that rural riddles are found all across India, let me share a non-mathematical riddle, which is a much larger subset of riddles from Tamil Nadu. Thanaril Pirapan, Thanaril Irapan. These riddles sound better with the cadence and rhythm in the vernacular language. So I will certainly repeat the vernacular, but I will repeat an English translation of it and I will explain it in English. So I'll show you about that. I am born from the sea. I am slain by the self same sea. So what am I? And the answer is, I am salt, a handful of salt. I come from the salt pan of the sea, and I go and if you put me in the sea, I will dissolve and vanish. Let me now turn to the mathematical riddles, and I begin with a brain teaser for you. Okay. I have about 9 posts on which I can tie a large number of camels. These camels are 90 in number. The posts, as you can count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They are 9. And how do I do them in such a way that each post gets an odd number of camels? So in the vernacular Bhojpuri, it reads very well. Now, khoot, nabbe oot, jab bandho to phute, hoot. Phute means odd number. And this is one of the first times that I realized as a small kid that when you add 2 numbers, you will get an odd number only when you add an even and an odd. But if you were to add 2 even numbers, and also if you were to add 2 odd numbers, you'll get an even number. So there is no solution to this problem. And that is the catch. Okay? Because there are an odd number of posts, there is an even number of camels, that is 90. So as I said, the way you normally try to arrive at this mathematical fact is not by some deep knowledge or some teacher tells you, but by the Baitaki approach. It is Baitaki means Baithana. It means trial and error, guesswork. You claw towards a solution with the most rudimentary of mathematics. Let's come to the next one. Okay, I have 9 coins. Some are 25 paise, some 50 paise. I don't know how many of 25 and how much of 50 I have. And I have to make an even number of rupees, either 2, 4, or 6, or 8. Okay. And a rupee is 100 paise, I remind you. How do I do this? So, Athani, Chawanni, Naugo, Joda Rupaya, Kaigo. Okay. So, they have to add up to even number, but there are only 9 coins. You choose how many 50 paise and how many 25 paise coins you have. You can write the answer on my YouTube website. If you fail, I will write the answer there. Okay, it's simple enough that you can attempt and pose it to your kids. Okay, here is a riddle in prose form. Okay, it's the first time or one of the times when a kid gets in rural India gets exposed to the notion of fractions. Okay, there are 2 travelers, Vijay and Akshat. It's in prose form, so I won't read the Hindi or the Bhojpuri. Vijay and they're both traveling, and they both get very tired after a while. They sit down for lunch and they decide to share the lunch. Vijay has 5 rotis. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Akshat has 3, 1, 2, 3, and they decide to divide it evenly and eat it. Meanwhile, a third traveler arrives. Her name is Ranjana, and the two of them decide to share their joint lunch. I mean, 5 plus 3, 8 rotis, evenly, equally between the three of them. After eating the lunch, Ranjana, she's not a freeloader. She leaves 8 rupees with them and says, please take this as my contribution towards the lunch. At this point, Akshat turns around and tells Vijay, okay, that let us divide it 4 each, okay, since we shared our lunch. Now, do you think that is that's a fair deal or not? Okay. So I think I've told you the problem, but I have not told you the solution yet. 5 rotis with Vijay, 3 with Akshat. Is 4 rupees a fair deal if it is divided between 3 people? And the answer is no. Okay, if you think about this answer, you take each roti, and this is a fractions problem, as I said, divided into 3 parts like a pizza slice. So Akshat has contributed 9 slices. Vijay has contributed 15 slices. Together they have 24 slices. They each eat about 8 slices. So Akshat hence has contributed 8 plus 1, 9, whereas Vijay has contributed 7. So the fair deal is 1 rupee for Akshat, 7 rupees for Vijay. Okay. There is another one which is once again one of my favorites from the land of Aryabhat. I have rupees 20. The goat costs a quarter. Okay, there are 3 animals: the goat, the cow, and the buffalo. You can see them all. The goat costs a quarter, the cow 2 quarters, the buffalo rupees 9. How will 20 of these be mine? Okay, bisahe rupiya, bisahe jiu. Sukha chedi adheli gaye, 9 rupiya bhais bikaye, kai chedi kai bhais vagaye. Okay, and you can only solve it by the Baitaki method, because if you try to set up the equations, you get less number of equations and more unknowns. You get 2 equations, 20 for the animals, 20 for the rupees, and you have 3 unknowns, the number of buffaloes, cows, and goats. Okay? And the answer must be an integer, of course. You can't have half a cow, or 1/4 of a goat. Okay? So the point is, you can solve it, of course. It's part of what is a problem called Diophantine equation. It is important in cryptography even now. Okay, and the method of solution was provided by Aryabhat 1500 years ago by the Kutuka, or the fragmentation method. Okay? And it is not surprising, therefore, that such riddles are to be found in the Bhojpur region, close to where Aryabhat lived. So these riddles, as I told you, was something that was told to us by our elders as we sat on an autumnal evening under the starry sky. Okay, so it is a legacy that I have inherited from my elders, and it's a treasure that I hope to share with my grandchildren. Okay. Please, we will be putting this up on the website, on our YouTube site, Physics Sutra Official. The word official is important. And I would request you to please leave your comments, your questions, your answers, okay, and maybe another riddle or 2 on this website. You can also get a paper on riddles and some interesting topics on my ResearchGate profile. And you could also write to me, but we prefer that you write on YouTube. This is the 3rd episode. There will be more. Thank you.